G'day everyone, Mitch here from Who's Your Aussie. Today is August 2nd and I'm going to try and complete the June MTB Slam. So as you can probably see, I'm in my car at the moment. It's still quite early in the morning and still pretty dark outside, so I thought I'd open the box in my car and then I'll rig up and get fishing and we'll go from there. So as I mentioned, this is the mystery tackle box for June, so I'm still running a fair bit behind, but I'm just trying to work my way through them. So let's see what's in the box. Okay, let me try and find the card here. There seems to be a lot in the box this month. Okay, so the first lure we have is a hard bait. It's a topwater bait called the Flat Belly Walker from Seville, and it retails for $6.99. Looks to be a fire tiger or something like that, so I'll probably be using that first thing this morning. Next up we have we've got some swim baits here. So these are by Reaction Strike. They're called the Fathead Junior, and they retail for $5.90 for a 4-pack. So it seems to be a fairly natural colour there I've got there, sort of shad colour. We have a zero gravity jig. It looks to be about a 1/4 or 3/8 ounce. This retails for $5.49, and it's in sort of a white shad pattern. So we'll see how that goes today. Next we have the Z-Man Bat Wings trailers. So they're 2.75 inches long, and the colour is green pumpkin. And this is a 3-pack, and that retails for $2.75. Next we have a worm. It's called the Sidewinder, and it looks to be about a 5 or 6 inch worm. It's sort of a ribbed worm. This is a 4-pack, and it retails for $1.50. Next we have some worm hooks, extra wide gap worm hooks from Eagle Claw. These are 3/0s and a 2-pack, and that retails for $1.06. And finally we have some fast hatch clips from Mustad, and this is a 4-pack which retails for $1. So today I'm actually going to go and fish a farm pond. It's a fairly small pond, maybe about an acre in size. So I'll start off by fishing the pond from the bank. I've also got my kayak on top of the car, so I may put the kayak on and go and paddle around and fish that as well. And hopefully we can catch a fish on each of these 4 baits. So I'll see you out there in the water. Oh, I'm not sure if you saw that on camera or not, but I did get a fish on the top water. So Just a little bass, probably about 12 inches. Okay, I'm sure you guys didn't see that because I was off camera and I think I had the camera turned off. But there's another fish. This one's a little bit better. It's probably 13 or 14 inches. So, and I actually caught that on the swim bait. There's a swim bait there. It's a bit messed up at the moment. There you go, guys. I'm not sure if you saw that, if it was in frame or not, but another small fish. Once again, I caught that right in the shallows, and that was on the the zero gravity jig. Okay, so just because I caught fish on 3 of the 4 baits in the box already, and there were still plenty of fish busting up in the shallows, I decided to put on a frog, and second cast I got another nice fish. So I'm probably going to fish this frog for the next half an hour or so, just for some fun, and then I'll switch back to fishing that worm to try and finish the MTB Slam. So there we go, another nice little fish on the frog. Absolutely choked that frog. Nice healthy bass in this pond. Sorry guys, I didn't get that one on camera because I actually moved around the bank here a little bit, but I just got another little bass. I did realise that I didn't put the Batwings trailer on the jig, so I wanted to catch a fish on the Batwings trailer as well. So I actually just rigged that just on a little jig head, you know, sort of like a Ned rig, and just got a little bass on that one there. So that's the Batwings down, and I still need to catch a fish on that worm. So let's see how we go. Okay, everyone. Once again, I didn't have the camera on, but you know, that's how it goes. So caught another little bass. This time it was on the that sidewinder worm. I threw that worm around. It's like a 5 or 6 inch worm. I threw that around on a Texas rig for a little while, and didn't get any bites. So what I actually did was I trimmed the worm down, cut it in half, and once again rigged it on a Ned rig, and I got a fish first cast. So that's what the bait looks like, trimmed down and rigged on a Ned rig, and seems I just broke the hook off, but anyway, so a nice little bass. Alright, I didn't have the camera on, but I managed to catch a fish on one of those 5 inch worms, the complete worm. So this fish actually shook the worm off during the fight, but the way I was fishing it was I had it wacky rigged, so you can see the wacky rig hook there, and then I just had a nail weight in one end, and I was just slowly dragging it along the bottom, and took me a little while, probably a good half an hour or so without a bite, but then this guy picked it up and managed to catch him. So that's another fish around about that 13 sort of inch range, and now I can definitely say that I've completed the June MTB Slam. I managed to catch a fish on each of the baits, so I caught 5 fish in total, and I'm really happy. It's the first time I've completed the slam. So okay, so I'm back at home now, and I just wanted to run through the baits, how I fish the baits, what I liked about the baits and what fish I caught on the bait. So so the first bait that I used this morning was the Seville flat belly walker. So this is quite a large topwater bait, and it has that flat section there towards its tail, which you might be able to see. And this makes it walk really easily. I threw this around, it walked quite well, and I managed to catch a fish quite quickly on this, probably in the first 5 minutes of using it. The next bait that I caught a fish on was the Fathead Junior swim bait by Reaction Strike Baits. So that's what it looks like there. It's about a 4-inch swim bait. So one unique feature about this is its paddle tail. So it has that piece of plastic coming off the top of the paddle tail there as well, which gives it more action. I originally started throwing this on a weighted swim bait hook, but I didn't get any bites doing that. And as it was still quite early in the morning and there was a lot of fish still busting up on the surface, I just rigged this on a weightless extra wide gap worm hook. And I threw it out and I just wound it slowly, retrieved it slowly, so that it stayed on the surface, and this tail just kept kicking on the surface, creating some commotion. I actually had a couple of strikes on this that failed to hook up, and then I managed to have another strike that hooked up. So once again, I probably only used this for about 5 or 10 minutes this morning. The fish were very active, and it worked really well. It has great action, and I'm looking forward to using it again in the future. Okay, the next bait that I caught a fish on was the Zero Gravity Jig by Custom Lures Unlimited. So that's what the jig looks like there. So as you can see, this is sort of in a shad pattern. It's white and blue. So this jig does have a very large head, but it's not made of lead or tungsten, so it's really quite lightweight. It's actually quite difficult to cast a long way, but it does sink really slowly, and that was quite useful for the area that I was fishing, because a lot of the fish were up shallow right around the grass. So I was able to just twitch this slowly around the grass, and once again I fished this for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and I managed to catch a fish on it. So okay, the next bait that I caught a fish on was the Batwings trailer. So as I mentioned, I didn't actually put this trailer on that jig, and I did have some other jigs that I could have used this trailer on, but what I ended up doing was just rigging this trailer on a small jig head. I'm just going to rig it up quickly here. So I actually rigged it as a Ned rig, just on a small 1/16 ounce jig head, and just once again flick that around the edges of the weed lines. I think I probably had bites on this just about every cast. Probably most of them were bluegill. I did actually lose a bluegill just at the edge on this as well, and after about 10 minutes I did catch one small bass on it. So it does have a really good action in the water. I think it will work great as a jig trailer, and I'm looking forward to trying that in the future as well. Okay, and then the last bait that I had in this mystery tackle box was the Sidewinder worm. I'll give you a look at the worm there, by Stanley. It's about a 5-inch worm. It's sort of green pumpkin on the top and chartreuse on the bottom. So I fished this worm on a Texas rig for probably 20 minutes and I didn't have a bite. So what I ended up doing was I ended up just chopping the tail off the worm and rigging it as a Ned rig on that same jig head, just so that I can, because I knew a lot of the fish in that lake were smaller. So that's basically what it looked like there, on that same 1/16 ounce jig head. And I did catch a fish on this quite quickly. And then finally, I did manage to catch a fish on the full 5-inch Sidewinder worm. And the way I had this rigged was I had it rigged on a weedless wacky rig hook like that, and then in the head of the worm I actually had a nail weight just to weigh that head down a bit, and then I just dragged that slowly along the bottom and along the weed line, and it probably took about 30 minutes of fishing that bait, but I did manage to catch a fish on it. So I guess overall I caught 6 fish on the different baits in the box and the different way that I had rigged the baits. And this is the first time that I've actually completed the MTB Slam, so I'm really happy about that. It was great fishing this farm pond. There were a lot of fish in the pond, and the fish were active this morning. There weren't too many big fish, but lots of fish in that 12 to 14 inch range, lots of fun, and I had a great time using the baits in the June mystery tackle box. I also fished a frog, got a few fish on the frog this morning, which was great fun as well. So I only fished for probably 2 or 3 hours this morning, and I had a great time. So I think that's about it. Hopefully I can get out and complete the July mystery tackle box in the next week or two, so that I can try and catch up with these mystery tackle boxes. But that's it. So if you like this video, please click the like button, and if you like some of my other videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, and otherwise I'll see you again soon. Cheerio!